If you're watching this video, then this probably happened to you. You end up spending hours trying to mix a song and you tweaking the settings on the compressor, but it's just still not hitting the way you want it to. It's not sounding right. It sounds weak, flat, or just all around bad. And then you start second guessing everything. You know, the vocals, the drums, the instruments, synths, whatever. Maybe even the whole track as a whole. And when you don't know exactly what a compressor is supposed to do or what it does, then you end up just overdoing it and maybe ruin the feeling of the song. You transform the entire sound that you had in your head and it's not coming out into your track. And then you end up sitting on a project that you should have been finished already. So in this video, I'm going to break down what DAW compressors are, what they're used for, when to use them and how to use them, so you don't end up second guessing yourself when you need to throw a little bit of compression on one of your tracks or all of your tracks or even your master. So let's get on to it. So the first part is, what is a compressor? And honestly, the main thing I'm probably going to tell you throughout this whole video is do not overthink it. A compressor compresses your audio. If it's this big, you can compress it to this big if you want to. That's pretty much it. I'll give you a quick rundown of how this works. So here we have a track loaded up in Ableton, a track that I produced and I'm singing on. And I have the drum soloed and I have a compressor on the drums. And I'll show you what it does as I turn the compressor up. And I'll show you the settings too as well. All right. See how it's squishing the audio? Okay, so basically right there, you just saw how a compressor works. You just literally saw what compressors do, but there's way more to get into, which I'm going to show you. So now that we know what a compressor is, I'm going to show you the 4 main settings that are going to be in any and pretty much every compressor that you ever use in your lifetime. So Ableton's opened up and here are the settings right here. Take a look at this. Threshold. This is going to be the main setting that you're going to be using. Threshold is the point in which your compressor starts to work. So this is like your trigger point. So if there's any sound, let's see right here, it's at -6.5 dB. Any sound above that, that's going to tell the compressor, start working, start compressing that sound, bro. And that's what it's going to do. So then number 2 is your ratio. This is how much is your compressor going to bring that sound down once it hits that trigger point that you set with your threshold. So this, in this instance, it's 4:1. So for every 1 decibel that your sound goes above this threshold here, it's going to reduce that sound by 4 decibels. So 4:1. And so that's pretty much how strong, how hard do you want your compressor to go? And then we have the attack, this one right here. So with the attack, this is how fast does the compressor work. If you have an attack all the way down, this lets you go all the way down to 0.01 milliseconds. So that means within 0.01 milliseconds, this compressor is going to see that audio go above the threshold that you set previously, and it's going to snatch it down that fast within 0.1 milliseconds. But if we were to set this to, let's say, 1 whole second, that means it's going to take an entire second for that sound. Like as soon as the sound goes above that threshold, it's going to do 1. Ah, okay, here we go. Let me grab that. It's going to be like that. So you can adjust this. And the 4th setting right here, release. So this is when your sound goes below that threshold that you set previously. This is how long it will take the compressor to stop trying to snatch that sound and bring it back down. So if you have a long release, it'll take a long time for it to, go back to where it was and for the compressor to be like not on high alert. Let's put it that way. So the compressor is going to stop working after a whole, let's see, how far does this go? 3 seconds. You can go up to 3 seconds. So your compressor can take up to, in Ableton, the stock compressor can take up to 3 seconds for it to just let go of the sound. Like, call it your let go time. A good analogy that I heard of for this is, imagine that you're a teenager and you live with your parents and you're playing music loud and your mom doesn't want you to have the music that loud. So the threshold, this is the point that you turn your music up to the point where your mom ends up coming into your room and saying, hey, it's time to turn that down. Whatever you set this threshold at, that's where mom is going. Like, if it gets beyond that little line right there, that threshold that you set right here, that's when mom is going to come in here and tell you to turn it down. And so then the ratio right here, this is how much you have to turn your music down for her to stop bothering you, telling you to turn your music down. This is how much you have to do it. If it was 1-to-1, then you don't got to turn it down too much. Let's say it was infinity to 1. You got to turn your music off, bro. So put it that way. For every one of these decibels, that's how many decibels you turn it down. For how many decibels it goes over that threshold before mom starts tripping. So if your music was at negative 19.2 dB, or let's say it gets to negative 20, if mom's threshold is at negative 19.2 dB, but your music ends up going up to negative 20.2 dB, if the ratio was at, let's say, 2, let's put 2 here. Let's just put it 4, whatever. If it was at 4, you're going to have to turn your music down 4 decibels because it was 1 decibel above the threshold that you set, that your mom is setting. So the ratio is how much do you have to turn it down to get back to your threshold that you've previously set. And now we're going to go into the attack. So the attack is, how fast do you turn that music down? How fast do you do it? Do you do it in 0.01 milliseconds? Or does it take you an entire second to turn the knob down on your speaker or whatever? This is how fast you're turning it down. And then the release, once mom is done tripping, how long does it take for you to get back up to that threshold before she walks back in your room and starts tripping again? So do you get what I'm saying here? Do you get what I'm saying? So the release, how long does it take for the compressor to be like, okay, let me go ahead and stop squashing that. Let me let it go back up until it hits that threshold again. And it starts the whole process over. The whole process over. What's the threshold? How much do I turn it down? How fast do I turn it down? Okay, once it's lower than my threshold, how long does it take for me to let that go ahead and get back up? And that's basically the settings for all of these freaking compressors. All right, so now we know what compressors are and we know how to use them by knowing the main settings that are used to use the compressor. Use. So back in Ableton, let me show you this in action. Let me show you what I did to my vocals on this. So I have a lot of stuff on here. So let me show you. This is also a compressor right here. And if you want me to do a video on multiband dynamics within Ableton, let me know. And I can definitely show you what's up with that. But on here, I have one main compressor on my vocals. And so with this, let's take a look at the settings that we talked about. My threshold, negative 20 decibels. And for reference, let's see what that looks like on the compressor that shows you the line. Let's go all the way to -20. -20 is all the way freaking down here. And actually looking at this is a lot of compressing. Like, this is a lot. That's a lot. I might make some changes to this. I haven't released this song yet, but I might make some changes to this. But for all it is worth, we have it at -20 right now. So whenever the sound goes above -20, that compressor is going to be like, hey, what's going on? Give me that. And pull that sound down. So threshold, -20. Attack, 1 millisecond. Release, 6. The ratio, this is 4:1. And if you want to see that again here, these settings right here, I'll put this one that's more visual for you. I'll put this compressor to the same settings as this one so you can see what's going on here. All right, so this compressor is literally the same settings as this compressor. This one is less visual, but once you understand compressors, which you totally will after this video, you don't really need all of the visuals that this one gives you. So look at this. Threshold, -20. Threshold, -20. Looks like that. Attack, 0.1. Attack, 1 millisecond. Release, 6. Release, 60 milliseconds. And ratio, 4. Ratio here, 4:1. So this is what the settings would look like. And those are the main settings you need to know. If you want me to go further in depth, then just let me know. So this is what my vocals sound like without any compressor on it.
Late night, searching for a sign. Heart heavy, lost in my mind. Trying to find truth in the noise.
So, okay, that sounds cool. So with the compressor on, what I did was I started compressing it at all of these settings that you see here. And then I brought it up because as you compress it, you compress it. So that means you're bringing the sound down. You're squeezing the sound. You're compressing the sound. So the more I compress it, the more you want to bring it back up. So I brought it up by 9.68 decibels. And so this is what it sounds like afterwards.
Late night, searching for a sign.
Look at the compressor moving.
Heart heavy, lost in my mind. Trying to find truth in the noise.
Okay, cool. So that is what compressors do. Let's even put it this way. If I'm over here singing a song right now in the microphone and I'm like, yeah, singing a song. That was terrible, but you get the gist. I was clapping my hands a little bit in the background and my voice was pretty close up to the mic. What a compressor can do is if you want those little claps that was all the way over here to be heard in the microphone more, you can put a compressor on there, squeeze it down, and then bring that overall audio back up. So now it'll be like, yeah, singing a song. I'm not finna do that again. It'll sound more consistent with each other. You'll hear more of the claps while you still hear my voice because it took all of that sound and put it in a little box and then made that bigger. And so that's how you kind of glue things together. That's how you glue sounds together. You can do that with compressors. Within Ableton, my favorite compressor is the glue compressor because just like I just said, compression can glue your sounds together. And this specific compressor right here, it was actually designed off of a famous compressor. I forget which one it was called. I think it might have been an SSL, like a vintage SSL or something like that, but I don't know. But it was actually made off of a compressor that was known within the industry to, quote, glue your sounds together. And it actually does that. You heard the difference between compression and non-compression on my vocals right here. So just listen to how this does it with, like, let's put it where's my background vocals? Okay. I believe I used it on my background vocals here. Yep, there it is. Right here. So this is my background vocals track that I have selected. And so I layered, you see right here, I have 3 layers of audio right here. And also there's backing vocals that I did in the original track that are all stemmed out, but those weren't the main thing. So right here, you can see my layers that I laid down for the intro of this. I added the glue compressor right here just to literally glue them together. Just remember, do not overthink this. It's the glue compressor. It glues your tracks together. It's as simple as that. And especially with the knowledge that you know now, after watching this, you know how to do it. Here's what they sound like. Let's see what they sound like without the compressor first. Let's solo it. That's cool. Cool. All right, let's see what they sound like with the compressor. Okay, so basically at the end of the day, it made those tracks sound a little bit bigger and more full. They were kind of in the background a little bit before then. But then when you take all of those tracks together, put a compressor on the master track of it. It wasn't on just one specific one. I put it on the group track for all 3 of those to affect it all. I put a glue compressor on there and it glued it together to make it feel like more like one. Because I'm one person, I had to sing this separately each time. So I wanted to sound like there's 3 of me basically singing at one time. And so that's what I use the glue compressor for. I gotta say, the glue compressor in Ableton is one of my favorite compressors ever to use. I'll show you one more. That I use. This one costs money. But the Waves R compressor right here. This guy right here. Hold on, let me move it over here. This guy right here. Yeah, you hear that beep. Very nice compressor. At the point where you know how to use compressors, just use them, bro. So now with all of these, like, look at how all of the vocals sound glued together on this track. And you know I gotta shout myself out for this.
I just lose insanity. Every little truth sets me free. Every word cuts deep up inside. My heart and my mind. It's more than lines in black and white. It's the keys to life.
And see right there, the last thing I'll show you about how the glue compressor works is it was really mainly for these vocals right here. These. The background vocals, I threw the glue compressor on here just to make these sound more like a choir singing together. All compressors can be used to pretty much glue sounds together. And they can also be used to make any specific track sound louder or quieter. You just have to remember what you're doing and what the compressor is doing, what you're looking for and what the compressor is doing. Don't overthink it. Don't just think automatically like, oh, my drums aren't hitting. Let me throw a compressor on there and let me just go in here and just start turning stuff up. Put the compressor down here. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that at all. The more simple you take these things, the easier it will be, and the better you'll become at it. Because even now, after all of these years, almost 20 years of producing, I still am learning new techniques with compression and all other aspects of producing every single day. I'm still learning every single day, and I don't think it's gonna stop. I'm probably gonna stop living before I stop learning. A last little tidbit that I'll give you, literally, you don't need that much of it to do it, to make a good sound. You want the best bare sounds that you can get. If you're singing a song, you want to hit those notes the right way. Don't try to fix it later. Yeah, you can fix a few things here and there, but the best sound you're going to get is if you originally make it sound good. Us as audio engineers, we can tailor these things, but we can't fix garbage. Like they said in SpongeBob, all you can make is clean garbage. And who wants that? If there's anything that I missed or anything else that you want to hear about, any other topics, let me know, because I really can teach you about it. And I'm trying to hear a hit from you. If you make a hit, go ahead and send it to me. casetheproducer.com, casetheproducer@gmail.com, casetheproducer on any social. Hit me up, man. Hit me up. And if you're new here, throw a subscribe on there, bro. You know you finna be back, because you know I'm gonna have some more stuff for you. Come on, stop playing. Also, if you want to hear this song, let me know. I haven't released this song yet, but if you like what you heard from the little snippets over here, then let me know. Let me know. Inspire me to put this joint out sooner. I'm still looking at it, working on it, but maybe I just throw it out there. With that being said, go out here and make some hits, man. We got money to make. We got music to make. We got hits to make. We got things to make. Come on. All right. Stay blessed, man.